We have the camera. It is time for the council meeting. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have an invocation from
Lewis Montgomery at the Lincoln Park Church of Christ. Let us pray. Dear Father, once again, this assembly has come together to take care of the business of this community. We pray that you will continue to give them the wisdom to make the judgments that will be the best benefit, not only for this community, but for the surrounding areas, that they may be a light for those who would wish to come and live in Lincoln Park. Dear Father, we are so thankful that you've given your blessings upon these men and women and these who are assembled around this table, the judgments and the abilities that they have and the skills that they bring that make this community one that is viable and growing. We pray that we continue to give them long life and give them long health and continue to give them the judgments that you've given them, allowed them to have, especially when making decisions that affect this committee. As always, dear God, we ask that we can learn to forgive each other and live with each other in this town, and we pray that we can be the light on the hill for others to come. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Have a few things for the mayor's remarks.
Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Roll call.
Certainly. Councilpersons Bear?
Here.
Dupre? Here. Ross? Here. Salcido? Soar?
Here.
Tobin is absent. Mayor Higgins?
Here. I have a few things for the mayor's remarks. The first thing, I'd just like to keep everybody in mind the Obie family lost their son in a fire this weekend on Fort Park, and our heart bleeds when somebody that young, his life is taken in a way like that, and just want to keep their thoughts in our minds. I do want to say that this last weekend was a very busy weekend in Lincoln Park. A lot of good things were happening. We had the City's official trunk or treat, and I want to congratulate Parks and Rec. They had over 1,000 kids there. Candy was everywhere. Kids were everywhere. And it was just a great thing that they did. They did pumpkin painting, and then they had a band later all day long. It was just a great event. I want to congratulate them. We had the firehouse, the fire department had an open house. Again, kids everywhere smiling. It was good. The police did a ice cream giveaway. It was a wonderful thing. And then the museum did a 100-year-old tribute to Ropp School, which was really, really neat. If you had the chance, stop by the museum. I always say that our museum is a true hidden gem in Lincoln Park. And the Ropp School, just seeing the puzzle that they have there. I think it's a puzzle, I'm not really sure, but it's a exact replica of the original Ropp School, and it's on loan to the museum from Ropp. And just seeing that is from somebody who's been in that school, it's amazing. I also like to remind everybody, Angels Night's coming up October 30th. Anybody who would like to participate in patrolling that night, please contact Sergeant Nicholas at 381-1800, extension 2402, and they are looking for volunteers and drive that night. Keep our neighborhood safe. Parks and Rec has asked me to remind everybody that Open Skate has returned. They have yoga starting up again, and Body Shape for Women is on Thursdays. And with that, we will go on to the meeting. We're going to call the public hearing for the CBDG action plan report.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joan Hennessy. I'm from Hennessy Engineers, and we're the consultant to Lincoln Park for CDBG and home funds. The plan that we're taking comments on tonight is a consolidated, it's called the CAPER, but it stands for Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Reports. There are 3 reports that we have to give to HUD at different times. One is a consolidated plan. It's every 5 years. It's kind of our vision. One is an action plan, which is done every year, which is our point of that vision of how to get there. And then the third report is how did we get there. So what we'd like to do in this public hearing is just to hear if there's any comments on the report. It is posted on your website under the Community Development tab, and it's under the name CAPER, C-A-P-E-R. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
I'm sorry, it stands for Consolidated, CAPER stands for?
It's consolidated, I had to look it up, Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions for the report? I don't hear any, so,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you for being here and helping us out through our issues in that office right now. Very much appreciated. And with that, we will close the hearing. Call for a vote? Okay.
Reconvene the regular.
Resolve the following items listed under the consent agenda be approved as presented to the mayor and council. Approved of the regular meeting of October 2nd, 2023. Approve the minutes of the special meeting, closed session of October 2nd, 2023. Approve counts and claims payable. Attend training for police academy. And I want everybody to know that they're on the posted, that it has been changed so that it's proper, so the voting will be done right tonight. Attend training for the police academy, social and solicit bids for the nozzles, and apprentices for the fire department, and schedule a special meeting for the closed session for land acquisition.
So move.
Support.
Before you guys vote, I want everybody to know that what we revised on D was the names that were in there were incorrect, so we did put the correct names in there. And then on F, there is also a change. The date says November 7th, but it should have been November 6th. So the minutes will reflect November 6th, which is the correct date for that meeting. Okay?
Thank you.
Councilpersons Dupre?
Yes.
Zohr?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.
Yes. We were going to resolve that the Lincoln Park designate the hours from 5 p.m. through and including 8 p.m. on October 31st as official annual trick-or-treat time of the observance in the Lincoln Park for this and all future years.
I'll move.
Support.
Call for the vote?
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zohr?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.
Yes. And next we have up from the fire department.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Before you start, I just want to say, you guys have been very busy the last few weeks, and I want to thank you for all that you guys are doing. And again, congratulate you on the open house. It was amazing.
Thank you. The Lincoln Park Fire Department solicited bids for replacement of bay doors at the fire department. The fire department received 3 bids. Number 1 bid was KVM Door Systems at $88,317. Jan Door was at $60,950, and Wisecom Technologies was $109.54. Lincoln Park is requesting, the fire department is requesting the mayor and council to award the bid to Jan Door of Dearborn, Michigan to replace 7 bay doors at the fire department. Of the 3 bids, Jan Door is the lowest best bid. The reason why we're replacing these bay doors is because they're over 20 years old and are in constant need of repair. The weather stripping and weather seals have all deteriorated and provide little or no protection to the weather elements. Rodents and insects during the cold months, the apparatus bay heaters are constantly running, wasting energy and driving up energy costs. The cost to replace the bay doors is $60,950, and funds will come from capital improvement number 410-001983.
So moved.
Resolved that the mayor and council award Jan Door of Dearborn, Michigan to replace 7 bay doors at the Lincoln Park Fire Department, as they are the lowest best qualified bidder that meets all fire department specifications. Be it further resolved that the funds come from capital improvement account 410-001-983.
I'll move.
Support. To the chair, if I may.
Yes.
Chief, on the doors, are you getting anything back from the old doors? Do they offer you anything for the old doors?
Not that I know of. I don't know if they're, if we can take them and sell them to somebody else. That would be...
It was just
Yeah.
a question.
I'll ask him when he comes over to finalize everything.
Thank you.
Hearing nothing else, we'll call for a vote.
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Zoar?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next up is the search for a new city manager. We had a committee, a bit comprising of myself and 2 council people. We sat down, and would you like to talk about it, Lisa? I didn't think you were...
Oh, I can, I wrote the resolution, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, go ahead.
As he said, we did go out for a search. We opened bids. We had 3 bids received. There was Amy Sell Talent. The fee proposal was $13,500 plus travel and expenses of $18,500. GovHR was $19,500, travel expenses, and advertising includes those sorts of things. The total was $23,500, and the last was Slavin Management, and they were $15,725 up to $24,374, I'm sorry. So the committee did meet, interviewed all 3 companies. We didn't want to go just strictly off of price, and it was unanimous that they wanted to go with Amy Sell Talent. So it is recommended that we award the bid to Amy Sell.
Go ahead.
Whereas the city solicited proposals from qualified companies to conduct a search for the position of city manager, and whereas on September 27, 2023, proposals were opened and 3 companies complied with the provided specifications to be considered for the search process, and whereas on October 3, 2023, a committee consisting of the mayor, members of council, and staff members met with the 3 firms to evaluate their proposals, their experience, and their abilities, and whereas based upon the proposals submitted and the resulting interviews of the 3 companies, the evaluation committee recommends Amy Sell Talent to be selected to conduct the search for the position of city manager for the city of Lincoln Park. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and city council select Amy Sell Talent to conduct the search for the position of city manager for the city of Lincoln Park for a recruitment fee not to exceed $13,500, advertising costs not to exceed $3,500, and other costs, travel and background checks not to exceed $1,500. And be it further resolved that the mayor and city clerk are authorized to sign on behalf of the city any necessary contracts to implement this action.
And I'd like to make a move on that.
Support.
Hearing nothing, I'll call for a vote.
Mayor Higgins?
Yes.
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
And Zoar.
Yes.
Police Chief, you're up.
Evening, Mayor and Council.
Evening.
The first is going to be, police department's looking to upfit a new F-150 that we have in our fleet. We went out for bids on it, and there was only 2 companies that put in 4 bids. We are recommending Synergy. The 2 bids that were submitted, I think you have the numbers in there. Synergy has been doing our vehicles for the last 3 years. They do a very good job. Time frame is better. This other company, Keweenaw Solutions, is over 600 miles away. It's at the top of the UP. Travel would be difficult. As far as the Synergy bid, they've been doing our cars. They put in, this is the first build that we've done on a F-150, so it was kind of unknown on what we were exactly looking for. Synergy could have put what we requested, but they said this is what you need. So the added stuff was comparable with the Keweenaw Solutions. It's recommended that we go with Synergy. The impact would be $18,621.67. The funds to come out of the department's forfeiture account. This bid is consistent with the bids that we've been getting from years on.
Be resolved that the mayor and council award Synergy Products the bid to upfitting the F-150 patrol vehicle for the Lincoln Park Police Department, as they are the best qualified bidder that meets all the police department specifications. Be it further resolved that the funds come from the police department's forfeiture fund account 265-320-983-000 VH04.
I'll move. Support.
Have something?
I do, Your
Okay.
Honor. To the chair.
All right.
Chief, the equipment on these vehicles, do you rotate the equipment once it's been done?
Some of the equipment can be reused, radars, radios, some of the equipment, but it's...
I understand that they change all the time. I just was seeing, because I was looking at the numbers, and it's a lot of money, so anything we can recoup later on.
We do like equipment like the cages, the back seats, they don't fit from one car to another. And again, this is F-150, it's a new build.
Right.
Even the Ford Explorers that we have, they've been changing bodies within the last couple, so the stuff we were able to use before doesn't necessarily fit the new stuff. We absolutely take whatever we can out of these cars and reuse it, but it's not always the...
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Anything else from anyone? With hearing nothing, I call for a vote.
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.
Yes. And you're up again, Chief.
All right, next one is, Police Department is requesting to waive the bid process to purchase 2 new vehicles from Enterprise Fleet Management. One being a 2023 Chevy Tahoe, 4x4, and the other being a 23 Ford Explorer Police Interceptor. We've been using Enterprise for the last couple years. They are a My Deal, and we are also requesting this time to use, they have upfitters that they use, and they've recommended using Canfield. That's one of their companies that they use. And with this, the prices included the upfitting, which for the Tahoe, it'll be $76,752.72, and of that, $18,046.02 would be for the upfitting, and for the Explorer, the total price would be $73,344.67, with $17,909 $1,012.67. Those funds would also come out of the department's forfeiture account. If you look at those upfitting numbers, it's pretty consistent what we've been doing with Synergy and other ones around. So it is my recommendation in the departments that you guys accept that.
Whereas the Lincoln Park Police Department is requesting to purchase one 2023 Ford Explorer and one 2023 Chevy Tahoe, be it resolved, the mayor and council authorize the police department to waive the bidding process and purchase one 2023 Ford Explorer and a total cost of $73,344.67, which includes the cost for upfitting, and one 2023 Chevy Tahoe for the total cost of $76,752.72, which includes the cost of upfitting, from Enterprise Fleet Management at a qualifying state payment.
State bid
State
participant.
payment. Be it further resolved, the funds for the purchases for the 2023 Ford Explorer and 2023 Chevy Tahoe come from the police department's forfeiture capital account 265-320-983-000-VH04.
So move. Support.
Through the chair, Your Honor.
Yes.
Hey, Chief, two questions. And the two cars that you're decommissioning, are those going to auction? And my second question is, what's the timetable for the Explorer? Do you have a timetable when that will be ready?
With the stuff that's going on right now, we've already moved forward and told them to go ahead and start getting the ball rolling. They can't give an exact time right now, but right now is the open ordering time right now. As far as the other cars, we will decommission those, and again, we'll pull stuff out, and they will go to auction.
Thank you.
With that, I'll call for a vote.
Councilperson Zohr?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Ross? Yes. Salcido?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.
Yes. And from now, we'll go to the city manager's report.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just a few things to touch on tonight. I had a request earlier today about a couple of our programs. Just a quick overview on the sidewalk program and where we're at and how much more we have left to do. And John, if I misspeak, just throw something at me. But I believe on the sidewalk program, we're finishing up year 4. And we still have a significant portion of the city to get through. This program's likely to take, 10 to 15 years before we have hit every part of the city. We're more aggressive this year. We increased the funding for it, so it should, if we continue that kind of pace, it'll cut down the amount of time, but it's still going to take a significant amount of time. And then also on the cross-connection inspection of the residential. John, we are working again, year 4 of the program, and we're probably a couple more years away from having that done, so probably another 4 years. So those are some long-standing programs that are taking some time, but we are definitely getting through, and you can definitely see some improvements, at least in the sections we've hit on the sidewalk, for sure. Couple other things of note. If you've been by Richmond, you probably have seen that we are finally really getting somewhere on that. That project is moving along pretty nicely. There's some new pavement down, which there hasn't been new pavement there in so long that it's really exciting to see. A couple things of note. Our mechanic at the DPS has returned. He is back to full duty. So he came back about 2 weeks ago. So it's exciting to have him back. And also, we have a new, he's been filling in quite a bit, but we have a new supervisor down at the DPS, Chris Ramone, who has been with us for a little over 3 years now, I believe, and He's stepped up and has been doing a really good job. We are interviewing this week to try and fill the final 2 remaining openings at DPS. And then lastly, we've gotten, even though we've done a lot of the spray patching over the summer, and it's gone really well, haven't had any complaints. We have started to get some about Fort Park, probably just because it was still so brand new and we had just gotten the spray patch down and the rock down. But if you happen to hear anything, the DPS guys were telling us that they're going to be out this week, probably Wednesday, weather permitting, to kind of sweep up the remaining stuff. So hopefully by the end of the week, that project will be totally wrapped up on Fort Park and we'll be looking good. That's all I had prepared for you guys tonight, but if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Through the chair, please.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, James. There is a water issue at Lafayette and Stewart that we're having some trouble with. I talked to John just before the meeting, and I'd like to know if he could update the public on what's going on.
Well, yeah, John, if you want to come up and...
Good evening, Mayor and Council. That specific question is, we're scheduled to make that repair tomorrow morning.
Can you tell us what it is, what has caused this?
We believe that it's a seal plate and some bolts in a gate valve. And right now, we're just going to wait, or we're scheduled to start on that tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
And shortly, we are going to have to repair it because shortly we're going to be decommissioning that particular valve, but we're just losing a little bit too much water. If we were losing less water, we'd wait until it's going to be turned off, which would be another couple of weeks, and it'll be abandoned in place.
But there's quite a flow at this time, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair?
Yes.
John, before you leave, will the residents be without water?
For a short time period, yes, it will, because we have to shut off that system in order to safely make that repair.
Okay. Can we have a Nixle or something go out, please?
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
To the chair, since I have you at the podium.
Sorry.
The Applewood and Park, and River Drive and Park, the traffic flow is horrendous. Is there a couple things that were suggested to me, and I don't know if you can do anything or not, but they suggested Park Street be eastbound and White Street be westbound. I don't know if that's possible, but it was a suggestion.
I think I would turn that over to the police chief, being our traffic expert. But for the record, this is something that Lincoln Park did not have any input on. It is a Wayne County permit. City of Lincoln Park did not even know that this was taking place until the contractor came in and told us. And once they told us, 3 hours later, we met with the contractor and we met with DT and their contractor of choice.
Could we, on the same subject, while you're both up there, some better signage warning semis, it says no through traffic, but we're letting through traffic anyway on Southfield, and then they're turning up the side streets, which has been a massive problem. Some more signage to let semis know, can't go this way, go someplace else. I don't know what we can do, but I don't know if we could throw some more signage up.
I believe there are signs for no trucks. We were out there today, and I think there were 15 commercial vehicles cited
Okay.
for being in that area. As far as switching the streets to one-way, I think you probably still have the same problem if it is. We're doing enforcement down there, so it's just a matter of time before people realize that it's not the route they want to be going.
I appreciate everything you have done, up till this point. They were brought up to me as suggestions, and I said that I would present them tonight. I presented them. I appreciate everything you are doing. We're just trying the tempers tend to flare at certain times of the day. I don't know why.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can limit commercial vehicles, obviously, but the passenger cars really can't. And if you start going, the streets now one way, you're going to have some of your neighbors saying, well, I want to go this way. This is my street, I should be able to. So we will continue to monitor and continue to do our enforcement. And hopefully
Thanks
they'll
so
get it-
much.
Hopefully they'll get it done quicker than
Appreciate it.
Do we know a date that it'll be
Pretty good
finished?
for being thrown underneath the bus so quick.
It's not going to be 3 weeks. The way they're doing it, it's going to be longer.
Does anybody else have anything for the city manager?
Troy.
Going once, going twice? Okay. Then we're going to go on to our department report. This week, we have the library director.
Thank you. There's a lot going on at the library this fall. The Friends of the Library just concluded their fall book sale. I don't have a total from them yet about the amount raised, but I wanted to thank them for their continued support of the library and our programs. We will have a Halloween pumpkin decorating event for the kids coming up on the 28th. So contact the library to register. We're starting to get the list filled up with kids that are going to be participating. There's no knives involved. It's just little decorations. The first week of November, we're supposed to be having the roof replaced for the library. From what I've been told, we should be able to remain open, but there probably will be some noise associated with that, so if our patrons could please bear with us. And then on Sunday, December 3rd, we will be hosting the Christmas Craft and Vendor Show from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Yep, there's the sign right there. And, we've been hosting this event for the past few years. It's always been pretty successful, so, and there will be a visit from Santa, so I encourage everyone to check it out. And if you don't have a library card, it's a good time to get one through the library network. Our e-library, we've added a lot of new books to the system, and throughout all the libraries in the network, this is the first year we're projected to do over 1 million checkouts for the e-books. So the people that have been using it really love it, and so I encourage everyone to check it out. And does anyone have any questions?
To the chair.
I think he can beat you. So I'll go with Jason.
Would you like to give an update to the public about what was discussed with the recycle bins at the last meeting, just so people will know?
Oh, yes. The library no longer has the recycling bins in our parking lot. To make a long story short, there have been a lot of issues with the recycling program once GFL bought our former recycling company, and the amount of revenue it was generating continued to decrease as the issues increased, so we made the decision to remove those.
But there's still one at the DPS building.
I think so, yes.
John says there absolutely is one, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To the chair?
Yes.
You mentioned October 28th, the pumpkin decorating. Can you give me a time for those, please?
Sure, it is at 2 p.m.
Thank you very much.
Anything else for our librarian? In that case, we will move on to citizen communications. Is there any citizens who would like to talk to the public?
Hi, Leslie Lynch Wilson. Hey, just want to give you an update on several events that are coming up. This Saturday is the Ghost Walk that Lincoln Park Preservation Alliance puts on. You need to get your tickets online. It's on Eventbrite, so if you go there, just do a search for Ghost Walk. But it starts at 6:30, and we'll have numerous tours up until 9:30 is when it ends. And if you're on Facebook, you can go to the Lincoln Park Preservation Alliance's Facebook page. There's an event notice with a link to Eventbrite to where to get the tickets. Farmers Market, we have just 2 more markets coming up, the 22nd and the 29th. If you or your friends or family have any WIC Project Fresh coupons or the Senior Project Fresh coupons, you need to use those at our market by the 29th, because those expire on October 31st. And after our market on the 29th, I don't think there's any Monday or Tuesday markets where you're going to be able to use them at. Double Up Food Bucks, as you know, they have a match. It's always been for every $2 you spend on your Bridge card, you get $2 free, up to $20 a day. Well, 2020, there wasn't any limit. 2021, they reduced it to $50 a day, and then last year they brought it back down to the $20 a day, but due to some funding issues, they reduced it early in the year to $10 a day. October 1st, they just reduced it back to $20 a day. So if you come to the market, you want to spend $20 on your Bridge card, you'll get $20 free of the Double Up Food Bucks tokens for the fresh fruits and vegetables. Then we have the holiday market coming up on November 19th. It's going to be 11 to 5. It's going to be, instead of our normal 11 to 3, it's 11 to 5. We're doing something different. We just made arrangements to have a tent on site at the farmers market location, an enclosed heated tent to keep everybody warm. And so it will be a really great event. We're looking for farmers with like late season fruits or vegetables, and some like Reese, and then specialty food vendors and crafters. So if anybody's interested in coming selling that day, they can either email us at lpfm@inbox.com or call our number. It's basically just voicemail 313-427-0443. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name's Rick Succo, AKA Snowbird. Just came back from Marquette for the winter. The reason I'm here is I addressed the council back in May about Council Point. I have like to walk dogs around that park, and city ordinance says no dogs allowed. And I can't address the council about that at that time. And I was told after the meeting that there's something in the works about a dog park being built down there. I've seen the state grants have gone out to various organizations to accommodate organizations like this. I did not see the Lincoln Park one listed. So whether I'm not looking properly on the internet or it's under a different address or something like this, but there were funds available. Anyway, missed on that. And the reason I'm here now is I adopted a rescue Shih Tzu. She's my emotional support animal. And I took her to Council Point. I had a dog stroller. I was going to put her in a stroller and walk around the park so I get my 2 miles exercise in. And the park ranger or the animal control was there and said, no dogs allowed, get the dog out of here now. Truffles would have been in a stroller designated for dogs. So I left. Then, like I said, I'm a snowbird, so headed to Marquette, spent the summers up there, walked the Iron Ore Heritage Trail and talked to many people from many, many states about the situation here with Council Point Park, and they're totally amazed that dogs are not allowed, because the dogs that walk there are all on leashes and harnesses. They're not allowed to walk freely. So now I have to walk her locally in the residential areas. Saturday, she got attacked by a dog coming right across the street. I lost Lola a year ago because she got attacked by a pit bull coming out of a house. And 5 years ago, Lola got attacked by another pit bull coming out of the backyard. So I don't know what's safe. To walk your emotional animal on the streets in Lincoln Park, because you've got to check every door, every fence. Is it locked? Is it secured? Is some dog going to come out and attack you and your pet? I honestly believe that Council Point, if it's set up properly, you rewrite the law, it can work properly for everybody, because those dogs are emotional support animals. You could see little children walking by, they see the dogs and they ask, "May I pet your dog? May I pet your dog?" And they get big smiles on their face. It is so emotional. It's beneficial. Anyway, that's my point, and that's where I'm at. I'm a big animal lover, and I just can't believe how wonderful they are, and people that have pets, they become so much of the family. And I would just wish there was a way we could work this out somehow so everybody would be happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Clifford Eberts, longtime resident of Lincoln Park and one of the founding families. I'm not so much worried about the police and fire, what they're going to recoup, because they know what they're doing, as long as we keep them funded so they can continue to do the job they do for us, which is a thankless job because they're out there all hours of the day and night. Secondly, it's not going to matter whether you make streets one way or not. The people already don't obey traffic laws half the time. Washington and White Street, again, bottom me out. Every time you go down, the road's caving in, there's gravel on the road. I think we need to start getting on these contractors, because I see, just like with Outer Drive, they're working on the bridge there, got it down to one lane, but it seems like they're dragging their feet on some of the projects. And I think maybe we should keep, in the best interest of the citizens, keep up on those projects and stay on top of them so that we can put the fire under these contractors to get these projects done in a timely manner where we get quality work out of them and hold them accountable. The other thing I wanted to ask about is, I guess we're going to be getting another city manager, or we're looking for one. Is this going to be another couple years and then we'll look for another one again? Or is this going to be something more permanent? And are we going to do something as far as getting a grant writer in to write more grants so we can actually get more money coming into the city so we can fund these projects and get them done faster? Because, you know, we need money coming in, and with limited funds available, you need to strike while the iron's hot and get money coming in so that we can get more of these projects done and expedite them so the citizens can get, you know, their fair share of rewards for living through all this for all these years of, you know, projects not being done, sewers collapsing, you know, and if we can maybe find a way to expedite that creek cleanup project, because we got winter coming, which means snow, late season rains, which, you know, can lead to flooding. We want to make sure that we have a clear path so that we got proper water flow. And again, you know, if they can get somebody over at Washington and White and, you know, pave White Street down to River Drive, it's horrible. It's caving in spots. They just repaired a sewer at one point, but that's all I see. And also with Southfield Road, if we could stay on top of DT and find out what kind of a timeline, when they're going to be done with it, and then try to make alternate decisions on how we can redirect traffic, or when they get part of it done, where we can, you know, have a detour or something so that they don't have to go down Park Street and the residents don't have to complain about all that noise all kinds of time of the night. So, and just again, White Street all the way down to River Drive, it's bad. They need to get something done, get it paved and get it done. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to speak with the council?
One thing.
Lewis Montgomery at the Lincoln Park Church of Christ on Fort in Progress. This coming Saturday, we're going to have a free coat giveaway for winter coats for the neighborhoods. It's not going to be, it's very difficult for people to understand it's free. It's not a garage sale, so it'll say free. We have a poster note on the wall of the building, starting at 10 o'clock to 2 until they run out. And so if you know of anyone who needs a coat, you can send them by. If you have a nice coat, not necessarily a new coat, but something available to be given away, we will accept those. Acceptance was this past week, but sometimes people bring things with them and we will accept them to be turned over. So it's a free day for those who are in need of a coat. Thank you.
Your
I'm sorry,
location
the-
again?
Oh, the corner of, and you can see it over here, but it's corner of Progress, Fort in Progress, right there.
Thank you.
Next to the pet store, I just say that, next to the pet store.
And the date, I'm sorry?
This coming Saturday, October.
Okay.
Yeah, across from his law offices. Yeah. And if you have any extra coats, just leave them over to the law office and we'll get them. No, just. He'll be there Saturday. Yes. We look forward to being
And
there.
thank you.
Oh, thank
For
you.
what you're doing for the community.
I appreciate it. I might throw this out. Our 100th year is coming up pretty soon. Being here in Lincoln Park, 100-year anniversary, and you'll be hearing about it. You might get an invitation.
Thank you.
Wow, good.
Okay. Anybody else like to talk to the council? Okay, with that, well, then we'll go with the oral reports, and we'll start with our council president.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few items, as I always encourage members of Lincoln Park, residents of Lincoln Park, to shop Lincoln Park. So in the last 2 weeks, I've had the fortunate pleasure of going to the Plaza on Dixon Champaign, Plaza Antiques and Collectibles. Very nice shop. Like I say, it's memory lane if you go in there, very nice items. Also, I missed the grand opening of Felicia's Mexican Imports on 4th Street. I did go in there Saturday before, and it's a very nice store if you like Mexican imports, pottery, blankets, Mexican items. Check it out. It's on 3925 4th Street. Also, I had the pleasure of going to Hot Wings. I missed their grand opening also. That's on 1326 Dix, 1327 Dix. They have a special right now, buy 10 wings, get 10 free. So I think that was like $11. So a very good deal. Almost lastly, I also went to Nina's Niche on Emmons and 4th Street, another collectible store, very nice items. They're actually expanding. In fact, I was told if you want to open up a booth, possibly check into Nina's Niche. That's on Fort and Emmons. Also, this past Saturday, I was at Vito's Family Restaurant, got my pizza and beverage that day. That was nice. See you in November. We don't have a council meeting, so happy haunting on Halloween. And also, Rick the Snowbird, I sympathize with you. I have a Shih Tzu too. When I walk her down the street, I'm always leery when I see a dog going by, and I sympathize with you because I remember one of my first things of running for council is I wanted a dog park. However, the funds just aren't there. And hopefully we get some grants and move forward. So with that, that's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Councilman Tracy?
Just want to say, don't forget the farm market and their fall activities. They're on Sundays between 11 and 3. Happy Halloween, be safe, watch for the children. Good night, and God bless.
Lillian?
Thank you. We have so many good things going on. I think you need a calendar just for our events, right? I want to start with the museum. Due to rain, the cleanup was postponed, and that'll be this Saturday, the 21st, same time, 10 to 1. Volunteers are needed, and I do want to thank Councilwoman Dupre for posting that on the residents. If you wouldn't mind reposting that again for me?
Okay.
James, thank you for posting that on our website. And if you wouldn't mind reposting it too, just as a reminder. And then, we've got so much on the 21st. There is also the Wayne County's Household Hazardous Waste. That's from 8 to 1. If you've been waiting for that, that's at the Wayne County Community College in Taylor this time. Then, back to the museum. On the On Wednesday, October the 25th at 7 PM, the Historical Society is beginning their presentations again. And the first one is going to be Mr. Henry Ford, A Timeline, an evening with Mark Campbell of the Henry Ford Heritage Association. Come and learn more about the man whose industrial enterprise led to the development of Lincoln Park in the 1920s. And that is at 7 PM, again on Wednesday, October the 25th, at the museum. All are invited, and this is free. On the 28th, St. Michael's is having a craft show and bake sale. That is on Champaign and 4th Street area, right? And that is from 10 to 3. And just to take us a little further along, because there's so much going on November the 11th at 11 a.m., the Lincoln Park Historical Society and Museum invites the community to join them in honoring our veterans at the annual Veterans Day bell ringing ceremony at 11 a.m. on the museum grounds. Then we have, I can't believe I'm saying this, Fantasyland's grand opening, November the 25th, 5 p.m. And I know that our DDA director mentioned this the last meeting. The holiday tree lighting is Saturday, December the 2nd from 6 to 8. And I happened to notice downstairs in the lobby that the Goodfellows No Child Without a Christmas donation box is there. So if you can't miss it, it's right when you come in, just place your donation in the box and the Goodfellows will take care of the rest. I think that's everything.
Thank you. Councilman Jason?
Hi. I would just like to make an announcement of a recent estate donation that the library received with our library director who gave the director's report. It came from the estate of Francis E. Hall Trust. It was of the amount of $13,500. And the library will certainly be making plans to put that to use. I was made aware of this at our most recent Library Commission meeting last week. And I certainly encourage everyone to make use of our library and what a great resource it is. And part of the way that we help support our library is the Hands of the City organization that I belong to. We are sponsoring another vendor show on December 3rd, the first Sunday of December in the library, and proceeds go back to the library. And we will have Santa there, we will have a balloon animal person there, and it should be a lot of fun for the kids and a lot of vendors for the adults. So I would encourage people to come on down and help support our library. And this is the very nice shot of the flyer, thank you. And have a safe Halloween for everyone. I hope all the kiddos get a lot of candy. Cross our fingers that Mother Nature cooperates, and it should be a real fun end in the month of October. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Zor?
Actually, light night for me tonight. All I have is set up for Fantasyland. Emptying the trailers is October 29th. It's a Sunday, and it starts at 9 a.m. Volunteers are needed. So if you can make it to 3240 Ferris Avenue for the Kennedy Memorial Building, all the help that we can get would be greatly appreciated. And with that, I will say good night. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, I'll resolve that we adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Support. Councilperson Salcido?
Yes.
Dupre? Yes. Bear?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Soar?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.